So, hello everybody. I'm Leena Vainio and I come from Finland, from Omnia. And Omnia is located in Espoo. And if you don't know where is Espoo, perhaps you know where is Helsinki in Finland. And Espoo is a neighborhood city of Helsinki. I live in Helsinki and it takes 15 minutes by car to my workplace. I want to tell you a little bit about FinnishVET training system, and then some examples what we are doing in Omnia. I have worked almost 30 years on vocational education and training area, and in Finland vocational education has changed a lot during these 30 years. Before I started to work in Omnia, I worked 14 years at the University of Applied Sciences, so I have seen both levels, the second level and higher level, what has happened in vocational education. As we saw, Finland is quite good in PISA tests, and there have been quite many visitors from other countries in Finland, and perhaps these other countries wanted to copy this Finnish education system. That's quite easy to copy the system, but I have noticed that there are 5 components behind education system which are needed that we have effective training system. First one is good policy on national and local level. Another component is collaboration with all stakeholders, companies, municipalities, labor market, teachers, students, even parents. Third component is innovative learning environments. And fourth is competent teachers. And perhaps the most important component is motivated students. And we need all those 4 components that our students are motivated. And that's why we can't copy any educational system, because these 5 components are more cultural components, and we always must plan and design our education system so that we take care of all these cultural issues and environment. Our Finnish education system, it's quite simple one. Our children, they start their school when they are 6 years old, and they start in pre-primary education. Then they continue to comprehensive school, and they finish their school when they are 16 years old. And in this point, students can choose either general upper secondary school or vocational institutions. And nowadays we are quite happy. Quite big amount of students want to choose this vocational line. There have been years that over 50% of young people have chosen this vocational line. And I will tell you later why this is nowadays so popular. Normally this general upper secondary school or vocational institution, it takes 3 years, and at the end of general upper secondary school we have the only test, national test we have in Finnish school, this matriculation examination. And in vocational institutions we don't have any national tests. Of course we have some, but not tests which everybody must pass. And after this second level education, students can continue to higher education, and it is so that normally those who has gone through vocational institutions, they go to polytechnics. We call those nowadays universities of applied sciences, and students who have done matriculation examination and general upper secondary school, they go to universities. But that's not always so. Students who have done vocational level, they can also go to universities, and quite often these who have done matriculation examination, they go to polytechnics. For instance, my two children, my son and daughter, they both have done this vocational institution first, and then they have done polytechnics, and now both are studying at the university. I wonder why they are studying all the time, but I am very happy because they have this VET education. They are earning, they study money. I don't need pay their studies because they can compare studying and working. I'm very happy. And my son, he has done double degree, both this matriculation examination and then vocational studies, and that's also possible nowadays. You can combine. Then it of course takes a little bit longer, it's normally 4 years. Something about our education policy. Of course, like all other countries, we stress quality, efficiency, equality, and international competencies and skills. And the Ministry of Education is funding vocational training, but municipalities, they own our vocational training institutes, and municipalities also are funding some parts of education. And government adopts every 4th year the development plan for education and research. And our social partners are strongly involved to this process. And our newest development plan for education and university was adopted 2011, and there those focus points are to diminish poverty, inequality and exclusions, and also stabilize the public economy and foster sustainable economic growth, employment and competitiveness. And as I have heard, I think that every country has these same focus points. We all are working on the same area. And Ministry of Education is giving the guidelines, but then Finnish National Board of Education regulate vocational qualifications. They design or produce curriculum frameworks, and now National Board of Education is writing new curriculum frameworks. There we have these qualification requirements, assessment criteria, and at the present we have almost 400 qualifications in Finland. 50 vocational qualifications and almost 200 further vocational qualifications, and then specialist vocational qualifications, also over 100. And 3-year studies include 120 credits, And this 1 credit, it means about 40 hours student work. Teachers are not working so much. Every training program have 20 credits of core subjects: mathematics, science, social studies, use of ICT. And then everybody can also choose 3 elective modules. And these elective modules, they can be something concerning these qualifications. Students can deepen their studies, or then they can take whatever they want if they want to just test new contents and learn something new. And the minimum on-the-job learning, work-based learning, it must be 20 credits, but it can be even 80 credits. And nowadays, we really try to improve these on-the-job learning possibilities. We have different projects with companies, and students can do their studies in these projects. Then some words about my own institute. We have this joint authority of education in Espoo region, and we have 5 campuses around Espoo, and we also have 2 small other municipalities in our authority. And we have 4 units, departments. This Omnia Vocational College offers upper secondary and vocational training for young people after this comprehensive school or general upper secondary education. This adult education center offers basic, further and specialist vocational qualification and tailor-made courses for adult students, and adult students are adult when they are 22 years old. Then Omnia apprenticeship, or it's a difficult word. It's of a vocational education organized at the workplace and then supplemented with theoretical studies. And then we still have Omnia Youth workshops, and these workshops are for students who are unemployed or without a study place, students who don't know yet what they want to study, what they want to do when they are a little bit older. And there we have different kind of projects where we try to support young people who have dropped out from the system. And we have had even projects where we call in the morning to the student and ask, have you waken up? Are you coming today to the school? And if they are not coming to school, perhaps there is somebody who takes the car and drives to the door of the student and knock and says that now it's time to go to school. Of course, we can't afford this kind of system for everybody, but we have tested, and now there are young people who themselves have gone through this problem, and they are helping these students who don't have normal life skills and competencies. And we have noticed that so-called peer guiders are really good ones. And my department is Development and Research Department is InnoOmnia, and we offer different kind of services for our departments, but also for our stakeholders. And Omnia is collaborating, and especially InnoOmnia people are collaborating with regional bodies. We are offering teacher training for VET teachers in Omnia, but we also have national teacher training programs, and we also train K-12 teachers. And at the current professional development programs for teachers and school leaders also at the moment focus on digital learning environments, including both tools and pedagogy. We also train teachers to use new learning solutions like gamification, mobile learning, and one very important subject is entrepreneurial teaching and learning and leading 21st century school. And then we are offering these training programs in collaboration with higher education, local universities, applied sciences, and also universities are our partners. And then we have many development and research projects with universities. And our training programs and these development projects and research projects are funded by Ministry of Education, and training programs mostly are funded by Finnish National Board of Education. And of course, companies are very important partners. And today in InnoOmnia, we have 200, almost 200, or nowadays over 200 companies collaborating with us. And we also offer space working room for companies. And our idea is that in InnoOmnia we have a learning community, virtual and face-to-face learning community, and there company people, teachers and students and researchers and developers they meet each other in we call it living room, and the core idea is that we drink coffee from the same pot, and that's the way that we just meet each other and we have possibilities to discuss what is happening. And all companies and students and teachers, they have screens and they can there show examples of their projects, or perhaps there are some questions in the morning that, have you any solutions for this problem? Could you come and help us? And we are developing these virtual teaching and learning methods, but we see that it's also very important to have these face-to-face contacts. And we hope that people will meet each other in our facilities. We have there also possibilities for work-based learning. We have different kind of labs. We have a student restaurant, and we also have our own shop, and it's a green eco shop. The idea is that all products which are sold in our shop are environment-friendly products. Then we have different kind of learning environments, and I already told that we have many training programs and coaching programs. I show now a small video about InnoOmnia and Omnia, what we are doing there.
Hi, my name is Mervi Jansson. I'm the Director of Education Partnerships here at Omnia, the Joint Authority of Education in the Espoo region. I was asked to talk about why vocational education and training is so popular in Finland. What's the secret of FinnishVET excellence? Well, I think first of all, vocational education and training being very much about lifelong learning with no dead ends is really important. Then, the image question. It's not a second-rate track here. For instance, our former Minister of Education and Culture started out with a vocational qualification and then ended up in university getting a master's degree. So we don't really have those silos that exist in many other countries. And a part of that is also the recognition of prior learning, which is a really important principle in our education system. So in the vocational sector, we can tailor pretty much individual study paths with a lot of flexibility. So you can learn and work really the way it best suits you. Then there's the question of teaching staff. Well, they all must have either a bachelor's or a master's degree, plus a minimum of 3 years work experience and pedagogical training. Continuous professional development and ties to the world of work keep our teaching staff up to date both pedagogically and in their field. Then the Finnish National Board of Education has been financing developing learning environments and different ways to demonstrate learning outcomes, especially by using technology. So really, the FinnishVET sector is up to date. It's about real people teaching real skills to the real world. I think those are some of our major success factors and why VET is so popular in Finland.
Sorry, the sound wasn't very good. Could you hear anything? So, and Omnia is also going international. We have many development and capacity building projects with other countries. And at the moment we have 2 big EU twinning projects, another in Egypt, and there we are developing vocational education, and then another in Kosovo. There we are developing the whole education system. We are not specialized for vocational education. And these are very innovative projects and also demanding projects, but these are also possibilities to design on and build learning communities, because Omnia teachers can't do all that work, so we have looked at experts from other countries and also from Finland, and I see that our teachers, they have really good possibility to learn new things when they go outside and give their lectures. And our question is now that how might we build the future of VET with these projects. And this has been very good situation to learn with you and hear what you are doing. I believe that I have received some questions when I have discussed with you. This has been really good situation. We have received good outcomes from FinnishVET training, and we have tried to find some components of this good outcomes. And in Finland, as I told at the beginning, the image of vocational education is now high. It's not a second-rate track as it used to be. I told at the beginning that my children chose vocational training, and I must now agree that I was really angry at the beginning. Why are you not going to upper secondary school, and why you are not choosing the so-called normal line? But now I am happy that they have taken that, and I have also learned a lot. And I think that the big problem is that parents doesn't support their children to take vocational education. And we ought to do a lot of work so that this image of vocational education is attractive. And then we really need high quality teaching and training, and it ought to be recognized and rewarded. And one main component of effective vocational training is teachers' competencies, and it demands that qualifications are up to date, and that really means that we have a lot of research and development projects, and teachers have continuing education, and they have possibilities to collaborate with companies. There they learn and update their qualifications. But I see that perhaps one secret is also that vocational education institutions are not only training students, they are also training companies and company staff. Of course, this employability is very important. We need real-world skills so that students receive workplaces. And in Omnia, we are very happy because our students, they have really good possibilities to get a job. This flexibility, so that all learning is counted, and prior learning is also counted, and there are no dead ends. And this demand of lifelong learning, so that in all ages and with all backgrounds it is possible to study new competencies, and we are lucky in Finland that we have these possibilities. 2011 Europarameter study collected some information about VET training, and FinnishVET received quite high outcomes. 90% state that vocational education and training has a positive image. Almost 90% state that VET offers high quality learning, and also state that teachers and trainers are competent, and VET leads to job highly demanded on the labor market. And we ought to keep all these numbers also in the future. Deputy Minister of Vocational Education and Training spoke about these skills which students ought to have, and students ought to improve during the studies. Of course, it's very important that qualified students master work processes, they master knowledge that forms foundation for work, and also master tasks, working methods, and tools and materials. But as important also are these lifelong learning competencies, and these ought to be common to all qualifications. And we know that nowadays careers are changing very quickly. We don't even know what are the training programs after 10 years. And we don't even know where our students are working after 3 years when they finish their studies, when they start this year. And that's why learning and problem-solving skills and interaction and collaboration skills are very important. And in Omnia, we really emphasize these entrepreneurship skills because we even don't know if we have any companies after 3 years in Finland. And perhaps everybody ought to found own company so that they can earn living money. And quite demanding at the moment is this communication, technology and media skills. In every field, students need these skills. And of course, also all workers ought to be active citizens so that they can change this world. And more important is sustainable development so that our children and grandchildren have still clean water and nature where they can walk and go. I said that teachers are a very important component in effective VET training, and in Finland, Ministry of Education and National Board of Education is supporting teachers' training, and these new learning environments has been during last years well supported so that we can develop innovating and facilitating learning solutions. And of course, this using of ICT and pedagogy is very important, but nowadays more and more important are these personal learning environments so that students can design their individual and flexible learning paths. And this is quite challenging because in the future, and even already now, students, they don't study in the same organization. They can take studies from another VET institutes, but they can take studies from all the world because, for instance, there are huge amounts of different kind of online courses, MOOC courses. They don't need to come anymore to our institutions to study how to, for instance, study Spanish language. I think that it's more effective to study this language using online teaching courses, new ICT methods, and you also can connect native speakers. And then they perhaps only come to our institution and they ask that if I can use these studies and be recognized that they have all competencies they need and we can give the degree. And of course, this work-based learning, we must increase the amount of that all the time. And it's also quite challenging. We need companies and partners with whom we can offer these work-based learning places. And teachers' role is changing quite a lot in this kind of environment. Teacher is not anymore giving lectures. Of course, teacher is giving lectures, but perhaps the form is different. Teachers also can use online methods and prepare videos, and we have now some projects where students first see teachers' lectures and then they come to our school and there we collaborate and we build knowledge together and we practice what we have learned. And this has really changed this learning environment. And it's also demanding that the school doesn't seem not anymore as it used to be earlier, because we don't need traditional classrooms. And this is quite a big change. Also, it's quite expensive change if we arrange this learning environment for new model. And this personal learning environment, it means that we have formal learning. How much it depends. I see that younger students, they must have more this formal learning, and older people, they have more informal learning. And we recognize these skills which are learned somewhere else. And nowadays we have more and more possibilities for these learning communities, which happens perhaps face-to-face or in virtual environments. And when these learning environments and learning methods are changing, then the students really need good skills, and they also need new cognitive tools so that they know what to do and when. And they need also these personal learning environments, especially understanding and also these portfolios, digital portfolios, are very good help. There you can show what you have learned. You can do your learning process visible. And when learning process is visible and outcomes are visible, then teachers and also partners from companies, they know what you have learned, and they also know what are your strengths and weaknesses, and you can develop those weaknesses, and you can study more. But although I have spoken a lot of these virtual environments, we see that we need real people, we need real world, we need real skills which we can make visible, and also we need courage that we can tell that we can do these things. And with these we can build our own future, and this is very important for young people. I don't now tell more about this, because I noticed that I have used my time and perhaps you are already hungry. Thank you, and thank you. This was really interesting possibility to meet you, and I thank you that you have invited me here. I hope that you received some idea of what we are doing in Finland and in InnoOmnia.